Hello, and welcome back to English in Advance. I'm your host, Jennifer, and I am so glad you're here with me today. You know, a lot of people think that to sound good in English, you need to use big, complicated words and perfect grammar all the time. But the truth is, real conversations, the kind we have every single day with our friends, family, and colleagues, are filled with simple, smart, and often informal phrases. These are the little expressions that make our English sound natural and human. They help us connect with people, show our personalities, and express ourselves clearly without sounding like a textbook. Today, we're going to dive into 20 of these incredible phrases. We're not just going to list them out. Oh no, we're going to explore each one deeply, understanding exactly when and why you'd use it. We'll look at a few examples for each phrase, and I'll even give you a little prompt to practice with. My goal for you is that by the end of this episode, you'll not only know these phrases, but also feel confident enough to start using them in your own daily life. This is all about making your English a tool for real, genuine connection. So, grab a cup of tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's get started on our journey to more natural English. Our first phrase is a fantastic one for showing agreement, especially when you feel like you really understand what someone else is going through. It's a way of saying, I get it. Now, you might think, well, can't I just say, I understand? And of course you can, but I get it is just a little more casual, a bit more personal. It shows that you not only heard the words, but also grasped the feeling or the situation behind them. It's an empathetic phrase. Imagine a friend is telling you about a really busy day at work. They say, I've been running from meeting to meeting since 8 this morning and I haven't even had time to drink my coffee. Instead of just saying, oh, that sounds difficult, you can say, I get it. Some days are like that. It's totally exhausting. By using I get it, you're telling them that you've been in that exact position before and you can relate. Or maybe someone is venting about their frustration with a new computer program that keeps crashing. They might say, this software is so buggy. I've lost my work 3 times today. You could respond with, oh, I get it. That's so frustrating. It's a very simple yet powerful way to build a bridge between you and the other person. So let's practice this one. Think about a time when you were really stressed out about a deadline or a difficult task. Now imagine a friend is talking about the same feeling. What would you say? Try saying to yourself, I get it. It's so stressful when you have a big deadline looming. See how natural that feels? That's the feeling we're aiming for. Moving on, our next phrase is perfect for when you want to make a suggestion to a friend or a group of people. It's a very common, easygoing way to ask, what do you think about this idea? The phrase is, how about, this is a great alternative to the more formal, would you like to? Or, I suggest that we. It's a casual and friendly way to propose something. Let's say you and your friends are trying to decide where to go for dinner. Instead of saying, I suggest we go to that Italian restaurant, which sounds a bit stiff, you can say, how about we go to that new Italian place tonight? Or maybe you're trying to figure out what to do on a rainy Saturday afternoon. You could suggest, how about we watch a movie? The beauty of this phrase is that it's an invitation, not a demand. It opens the door for a conversation and lets the other person give their opinion easily. You can also use it to suggest a small change to a plan. If a friend says, let's meet at 2 p.m., you could say, how about 2:30 instead? I have a meeting that runs a little late. It's polite and flexible. Okay, let's try a little practice. Imagine you want to suggest a group of friends have a picnic this weekend. What would you say? You can start with, "Hey everyone, it's going to be sunny this weekend. How about we have a picnic in the park on Saturday?" It's a phrase that just rolls off the tongue so nicely. Our third phrase is for when you want to express how much you like something. It's a fantastic, warm phrase that shows genuine appreciation. And the phrase is, "I'm a big fan of." This is more than just saying, "I like it." It shows a strong, positive preference. You can use this for almost anything, from food to hobbies to people. For example, if someone asks you what kind of music you like, you could say, "Oh, I'm a big fan of jazz music." Or if you're talking about a new cafe you went to, you might say, "I'm a big fan of their coffee. It's the best I've ever had." It's also great for talking about things you enjoy doing. You could say, "I'm a big fan of hiking. It's a great way to clear my head." The phrase is clear, positive, and gives a little more detail about your feelings than a simple, "I like it." You can also use it in a slightly humorous way. Like if you're offered another slice of cake, you might say with a smile, "Oh, you know me. I'm a big fan of chocolate cake. Let's practice. What is something you really, really enjoy?" It could be a movie, a type of food, or a sport. Now express your love for it using this phrase. Say it out loud. "I'm a big fan of," and then fill in the blank. It feels good to express enthusiasm, doesn't it? Next up, we have a phrase that is perfect for expressing a desire to relax or to take a break. This is one of my personal favorites because it's so versatile and common in casual conversation. The phrase is to chill out. This means to relax, to calm down, or to spend some time doing something that is not stressful. Or it's an easy, friendly way to talk about needing a rest. Let's say your friend calls you and asks what you're doing. You might say, "Oh, nothing much, just chilling out at home, watching some TV." This tells them you're not busy and you're in a relaxed state. Or if you've had a really hard day at work, you might tell a colleague, "Man, I've had a crazy day. I'm just going to go home and chill out." You can also use it as a gentle suggestion to someone who seems stressed or angry. If a friend is getting worked up about something, you could say in a kind way, "Hey, just chill out. It's not worth getting upset about." This usage is a little more delicate, so make sure you use a calm and gentle tone. It's a way of saying, "Relax, take it easy." Now for your practice. Imagine your weekend has just started after a long week. What would you tell a friend you plan to do to relax? Try saying, "My week was so long. This weekend, I just want to chill out." Oh, it's a simple, perfect phrase for a Friday afternoon. Our fifth phrase is a great way to show that you're paying attention and that you want to hear more. It's a little filler phrase that keeps the conversation going and makes the other person feel heard. The phrase is, "And then what happened?" This is a much more engaging question than just saying, "What happened next?" It sounds more natural, like you're truly invested in their story. For instance, your friend is telling you a long story about their trip to a new city. They say, "So we got to the hotel, and the receptionist said our reservation was for the wrong day." You, wanting to hear the rest of the story, can jump in with, "Oh no, and then what happened?" This shows that you're hooked and you want the details. It's also a great way to prompt a shy person to continue talking. It's an invitation to keep the narrative flowing. Let's practice this. Think about a time a friend told you an interesting story that ended abruptly. How would you prompt them to continue? Say to yourself, That's so interesting. And then what happened? It's a phrase that makes you a great listener. Next up, we have a phrase that's great for showing that something is not a problem for you at all. It's a wonderful, polite way to say, "You're welcome," or "It's okay." The phrase is, "No worries." This is particularly popular in places like Australia and is now widely used everywhere. It's more casual and relaxed than "You're welcome" and feels a little warmer. If a friend says, "Thanks for helping me with my homework," you can respond with, "No worries." If a colleague apologizes for being a minute late to a meeting, they might say, "Sorry I'm late." And you could respond with, "No worries, we just started." It's a way of brushing off a small issue and showing that you're easygoing. It's a phrase that promotes a friendly, low stress environment. Let's practice this one. Imagine you've just done a small favor for a friend, like holding the door open for them or passing them a pen. They say, "Thank you." What would your response be? Try saying, "No worries at all." See how simple and friendly that is? Our sixth phrase is one you'll hear all the time. It's a very casual, very common way to agree with someone or to say yes to a suggestion. The phrase is, "Sounds good." This is a perfect alternative to a simple okay or yes. It adds a layer of positive enthusiasm to your agreement. Let's imagine a friend texts you, "Hey, do you want to meet for coffee at 3 p.m.?" You could just reply, "Okay," but "sounds good" is so much friendlier. It shows you're not only agreeing but also looking forward to it. If someone suggests a plan for a project at work, you could say, "Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it that way." It's a simple phrase that conveys a positive and cooperative attitude. It's also great for responding to a suggestion about what to eat for lunch. If a colleague says, "I'm thinking of getting a sandwich from that new place," you can reply with, "Sounds good. I'll join you." Now for your practice. Imagine a friend has just suggested a movie for you to watch together tonight. What would you say to agree with their choice? Practice saying, "A comedy?" "Sounds good. I'm in the mood for something funny." It's an easy, friendly, and very natural way to agree. Our seventh phrase is for when you want to ask someone what they've been doing recently, especially if you haven't seen them in a while. It's a very common, very human way of catching up. The phrase is, "What have you been up to?" This is a great open ended question that invites a longer response than just, "How are you?" If you run into an old friend at the grocery store, you can say, "Hey, it's so good to see you. What have you been up to lately?" Or you could be on a video call with a family member and you might start the conversation with, "It's been a while. What have you been up to?" It's a great conversation starter because it shows a genuine interest in their life and gives them a chance to talk about their recent activities, projects, or adventures. It's an invitation to share stories. For your practice, think about a friend you haven't talked to in a month or two. When you finally get them on the phone, what's the first thing you would ask? Say it out loud. "Hey, long time no see. What have you been up to?" It's a perfect way to reconnect. Next up, we have a phrase that's great for showing that you are listening and you understand what someone is saying, especially when they're telling you about something a bit surprising or unbelievable. It's a very casual, often used with a sense of slight disbelief, and the phrase is, "For real?" This is a short, punchy way of asking, "Is that true?" Or, "Are you serious?" Let's say a friend tells you they won a small amount of money in a lottery. You might be surprised and ask, For real? That's amazing. Or a colleague tells you about a new company policy that you think is strange. You could say, they're really going to make us start at 7 a.m.? For real? It's a phrase that shows a mix of surprise and a desire to confirm the information. The tone of your voice can change the meaning from genuine shock to playful disbelief. Now for your practice. Imagine a friend tells you they've decided to quit their job and travel the world. This is big news. What would you say? Try saying, wow, quit your job? For real. It's a simple phrase with a big impact. Our ninth phrase is for when you want to indicate that you're about to say something that's on your mind right now without having had a lot of time to think about it. It's a humble way to offer an idea or a piece of information. The phrase is, off the top of my head. This phrase gives you a bit of a safety net, letting the other person know that your idea might not be fully fleshed out yet. For example, a colleague asks you for a recommendation for a good cafe. You might say, off the top of my head, there's that new coffee shop on Elm Street. I haven't been, but I've heard good things. Or if someone asks you for a solution to a problem, you could say, off the top of my head, maybe we could try a different approach to the marketing campaign. It's a great way to contribute to a conversation without a lot of pressure to be perfect. Let's practice this. Imagine a friend asks you for a good movie to watch. You have a few in mind, but you're just picking the first one that comes to your brain. What would you say? Try saying, off the top of my head, you should watch that new sci-fi movie. It's really popular right now. It's a very useful phrase for brainstorming or giving quick recommendations. Moving on, our 10th phrase is a wonderful way to tell someone you are ready and willing to help. It's a friendly and supportive expression that shows you're there for them. The phrase is, I've got your back. This means you support them and will help them if they need it. It's a powerful way to show loyalty and friendship. For example, if a friend is nervous about giving a presentation at work, you could say, don't worry, you're going to do great. I've got your back if you need any help with the slides. Or if a colleague is having a hard time with a big project, you might say, just let me know what you need. I've got your back. It's a phrase that builds trust and strengthens relationships. It's about being a reliable person. Your practice for this one. Imagine a friend is worried about a difficult conversation they need to have with someone. How would you offer them your support? Say it with confidence. I know you're nervous, but don't worry, I've got your back. Our 11th phrase is a casual and common way to indicate that you need to leave or go somewhere. It's a polite and simple way to end a conversation without being rude. The phrase is, I'd better get going. This is a great alternative to the more direct, I have to leave now. It's a little softer and more human. If you're at a friend's house and you're ready to go home, you could say, well, it's getting late. I'd better get going. Or if you're talking on the phone and you have another appointment, you could say, I'd better get going. I have a meeting in 5 minutes. It's a signal that the conversation is coming to a natural close, and it gives the other person a moment to say goodbye. Let's practice. Imagine you're at a party and you're ready to go home. What would you say to the person you're talking to? Try saying, it's been so nice catching up, but I'd better get going. I have a long day tomorrow. It's a graceful way to exit a conversation. Our 12th phrase is for when you're trying to figure something out or you're deep in thought. It's a way of saying, let me think about that for a moment. The phrase is, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. This is a fantastic way to show that you are actively processing a difficult or complex idea. For instance, if your friend is explaining a very complicated concept in their science class, you might say, "Hold on, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Can you explain the last part again?" Or if a colleague explains a new strategy for a project, you might say, "That's an interesting idea. I'm trying to wrap my head around how we would implement it." It shows that you're engaged and that you're giving the topic your full attention. It's a phrase that buys you a little time to think without sounding confused or uninterested. Your practice. A friend is explaining a new video game with very complicated rules. What do you say to show you're trying to understand? Say to yourself, "Okay, so there are three different kinds of monsters. I'm trying to wrap my head around how to defeat the big one." Our 13th phrase is a polite and friendly way to say that you're a bit busy at the moment, but you're open to talking later. It's perfect for those times when you can't have a full conversation right now. The phrase is, "I'm a little swamped right now." The word swamped means you're overwhelmed with work or tasks. Imagine your friend calls you in the middle of a very busy day. You could say, "Hey, I'm a little swamped right now. Can I call you back in an hour?" Or if a colleague asks you to help with something while you're in the middle of a tight deadline, you could say, "I'm sorry, I'm a little swamped right now. Maybe I can help you later this afternoon." It's a very clear but gentle way to set a boundary and manage expectations. It shows you're not ignoring them, but you just can't give them your full attention at that moment. Let's practice. Imagine your boss asks you to do an extra task right now, but you already have a full plate. How would you politely decline for the moment? You can say, "That sounds important, but I'm a little swamped with a quarterly report right now. Can we talk about it in an hour?" Our 14th phrase is for when you want to express that you've been working very hard on something. It's a great way to describe a period of intense effort and dedication. The phrase is, "I've been working my tail off." The tail off part is an informal, slightly humorous way of emphasizing just how hard you've been working. Let's say a colleague asks you how a big project is going. You could say, "It's finally done, but I've been working my tail off to get it finished on time." Or if you're talking to a friend about studying for an important exam, you might say, "I've been working my tail off to prepare for this test. I really hope I do well." It's an expressive phrase that conveys a strong sense of effort and dedication. It's a very human way of talking about hard work. Your practice for this one. Imagine your parents ask you how your big final project is going. How would you describe the amount of effort you've put in? Say, "It's been a lot of work, but I'm almost done. I've been working my tail off on it for weeks." Our 15th phrase is for when you want to express that you're having a difficult or stressful time without going into too much detail. It's a simple, universal phrase that people will instantly understand. The phrase is, "I'm feeling under the weather." This is a polite and common way to say you're feeling sick or unwell. If a colleague asks why you're not at work, you might text them, "I'm sorry, I won't be able to make it in today. I'm feeling a little under the weather." Or if a friend asks how you're doing and you're not feeling well, you can just say, "I'm okay, but I'm feeling a bit under the weather today." It's a phrase that is both simple and nonspecific. So you don't have to share all the details of your illness if you don't want to. Let's practice this one. Imagine you wake up one morning with a headache and a bit of a sore throat. Your roommate asks how you are. What would you say? Try saying, "I'm not doing great. I'm feeling a little under the weather." It's a polite and clear way to explain how you feel. Next, we have a phrase that is used to express that something is not a big deal or not a cause for concern. It's a phrase that promotes a relaxed and calm atmosphere. The phrase is, no big deal. This is perfect for when someone apologizes for something small. Let's say a friend accidentally spills a little water on the table and says, "Oh, sorry." You can quickly say, "No big deal, I'll get a napkin." Or if a colleague apologizes for forgetting to send an email and it wasn't urgent anyway, you can say, "Don't worry about it. No big deal." It's a way of reassuring people and showing that you're not easily upset by small things. It's a very friendly and positive phrase. Your practice for this one. A friend is helping you move a box and drops a piece of paper on the floor. They apologize. How would you reassure them? Say, "It's just a piece of paper, no big deal." It's a lovely way to be a good friend. Our 17th phrase is a great way to say that you're really excited or happy about something. It's an enthusiastic and positive expression that adds a lot of energy to your speech. The phrase is, "I'm so pumped." The word pumped means you are full of energy and excitement. If a friend asks you if you're ready for the big concert you're going to this weekend, you could say, "Are you kidding? I'm so pumped. I've been waiting for this for months." Or if you get a good grade on a test you studied hard for, you might tell your parents, "I got an A on my English test. I'm so pumped." It's a very dynamic and youthful way to express excitement. Let's practice this. Imagine your favorite sports team just won a championship game. What would you say to your friend? Try saying, "We won. I'm so pumped right now." The energy of the phrase really comes through when you say it with enthusiasm. Our 18th phrase is a fantastic way to show that you're thinking about someone or that you wish them luck. It's a warm and supportive expression. The phrase is, "Keep your fingers crossed." This phrase comes from an old superstition, but now it's just a common way to say you're hoping for a good outcome for someone. For example, a friend is going for a job interview. You could say, "Good luck with your interview today. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you." Or if you're waiting for the results of a big test, you could tell a friend, "I'm so nervous to get my test results back. Keep your fingers crossed for me." It's a very common phrase that expresses a sense of shared hope. Your practice. A friend is entering a competition and they're a little worried. How would you offer them your support? Say, "I know you've practiced so hard. I'll be keeping my fingers crossed for you." And finally, our 20th phrase is a common way to indicate that you will be in touch with someone soon. It's a friendly and informal way to say goodbye and to promise to communicate again in the near future. The phrase is, "I'll give you a buzz." The word buzz here means a phone call or a text message. Oh, it's a lot more casual than saying, "I will contact you later." If you're ending a conversation with a friend and you want to make plans for the weekend, you could say, "This was great, I'll give you a buzz later." This week to figure out our plans. Or if a colleague asks you to look over a document and get back to them, you might say, "Sure thing, I'll give you a buzz once I've had a chance to read it." It's a very easygoing and natural way to end a conversation with the promise of more communication. For your final practice, you've just finished a quick chat with a friend and you want to continue the conversation soon. How would you say goodbye? Try saying, "All right, I'll talk to you later. I'll give you a buzz tomorrow." And there you have it, everyone. 20 smart, casual English phrases that you can start using today to make your conversations more natural and more human. These aren't just words, they're tools for connecting with people on a deeper level. By practicing these phrases, you're not just improving your English, you're building confidence and personality into your speech. Remember, the goal of learning a language isn't just to be correct, but to be understood and to be yourself. Don't be afraid to try these phrases out. Start with one or two that you feel most comfortable with, and then slowly add more to your vocabulary. The more you use them, the more natural they will feel. Thank you so much for joining me today on English in Advance. I hope this episode has given you some great new tools for your English journey. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to subscribe and share it with a friend who's also learning. Until next time, keep practicing and keep speaking English in advance.